My cat is scratching the door. Can you hear that, Samo? He is interested as well.
In stretching and lung packing and breathing exercises. Cool.
I wish we could stretch our legs as much as them and as good as them.
And sleep as much as they can.
Yeah, that's another thing. Hi, Philip. George from Florida Keys. Good morning. So we still have a few minutes. We are waiting for 12 o'clock Central European Time.
George said that sleep is overrated.
Yeah, maybe.
Talking about cats.
How long? I mean, this is not part of the interview, guys. But now let me start softly. How long do you sleep every night, Samo?
Well, this is a super interesting topic to discuss because I try to sleep as much as I can, and every time I want to go to bed as early as possible. For me, it's between 9 and 9:30 in the evening, and then I wake up between 5 and 6 in the morning. So in theory, it's supposed to be like more than 8 hours of sleep. But now, since I'm using all these, trackers that can, monitor your activity and heart rate or heart rate variability, it actually says that during the night I'm more than 1 hour awake. Yeah, it's super interesting. So, and this is called like sleeping performance. How much of your sleep is actually asleep, not just being awake and doing some sleepwalking or sleep talking.
Maybe we do a special on the dreams and sleeping cycle.
Yes.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, we can discuss this topic in a couple of years when you come to my age. I've started to sleep less and less. Not like super little, but maximum 7.5 hour-ish.
7.5. It's also the same when you train and teach heart?
I know it depends. I think sleeping is like having debt, You have to pay sooner or later. It accumulates. If I keep sleeping little, and then one day it just knocks me down and I sleep 8.
Cool.
More people are coming. Sura is here.
Nice. Hello. Do you work out these days?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You have like a daily routine?
Yeah. Not like one day on, one day off, because I mean it's the problem of, it's a global problem to make your own sourdough and to make your bread, as you know. and to get fat. Yeah, so I decided to train. I've been training for the last 3 weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think we are ready, huh?
Yes. Okay, let's start. Welcome to Freediving Friday. Finally, I managed to say it right. So this is the first one of a series that we are planning to start on our Facebook page. And every Friday around noontime, this time, we are going to have a special guest, probably with a different host or with multiple hosts. And we will be sharing our passion of freediving, knowledge on freediving, and of course, answer your questions about freediving. My name is Memo, and I'm the host of today's program. And like I said, we are here to share our passion, love, and experience, which we built on freediving. Before I introduce my champion guest today, let me tell a few words about myself to answer some questions in your mind. So I work in SSI as a freediving international training director, and I can easily say I dedicated my life to develop our freediving programs and to share my joy about this wonderful sport. I started my freediving adventure following my father's footsteps at the very early ages of my life. Actually, it was when I was 4. Now, looking back after 38 years later, I still get excited when I get into the water. And yes, I get even more excited when I teach freediving. But that's enough about me. Let me introduce our champion freediver, Samo Jeranko. Samo, welcome.
Hello, Memo. First of all, thanks for having me here. And I believe we're gonna have some very interesting topic to discuss. Well, I also started freediving basically super early, and for me it was, passion from the beginning. But very quickly, I also started with quite serious swimming training. So it was, I spent a lot of time in the water, training basically at least once per day, normally 2 times per day. And then, every summer when we went for the holidays with my family, I basically spent all day in the water. And of course, my parents were not had no clue about freediving, diving, or any kind of sport, were just not able to control me at all. So I remember how, I was diving deeper and deeper. I can still remember, these first days when I managed to equalize. And since then, I'm basically in love with this sport. Now also for the last 10 years, I am also competing, traveling around the world for various competitions. I won several world vice champion titles, participated a lot of both pool and depth competitions. And since 2016, the same as you, I am with my heart and my passion and everything that can be 100% into freediving and teaching it under SSI as well.
Beautiful. Okay. For our viewers, let me explain how this interview is going to be. Yes, of course, we prepared some questions as a team to ask our guests, to learn more about them, to make them sweat a little bit. But of course, our aim is to make these interviews as interactive and as entertaining as possible for you. So please don't hesitate to ask your questions. We will try to cover all of them, and we will learn the secrets of training from Samo. So let me start with our question list. So first of all, where are you from? And where are you living now?
I'm from Slovenia. It's on the northern part of Adriatic Sea. And we also have a coastline. We have 47 kilometers of the coastline. And it's really an amazing country with mountains, lakes, and the seaside. But I spent most of my freediving in Croatia. So I am constantly between Ljubljana, that's the capital of Slovenia, and Adriatic Sea, mostly in Croatia, where I freedive and teach.
I got the chance diving in the Adriatic Sea once. It was really beautiful, but for the ones who haven't done that before, what can you say? Is it warm, cold waters, nice visibility? How is it?
Well, of course, when you go to some tropical places and then you come back to Croatia, you are just like, oh my God, it's so cold. But to be honest, it's like any other place in the Adriatic Sea. Like on the surface, during the summer, you have 24, 26, 27 degrees. But yeah, the truth is there is a thermocline at around 10 to 15 meters. If you go more south in the Adriatic Sea, the thermocline is deeper, and the lowest temperature you get at let's say 90, 100 meters is around 13, 14 degrees.
Yeah. But
So
luckily, it's not the problem of everyone. Yeah, at 90, 100 meters.
Yeah,
very few people suffer from that. So good. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. You come from Turkey, right? It has a huge.
I live in Turkey.
Yeah, it has a huge coastline, and I also love to freedive in this country. Where do you particularly come from?
I mean, originally I'm from the capital, Ankara, in the middle of the country, so it's a mainland city. But later on, my passion moved me towards the coast. So now I live in Bodrum, a small seaside town in the Aegean coast, in the western part, which is really beautiful to dive, super clean waters, a little bit warmer than yours, but typical Mediterranean water. Like you said, we are surrounded by sea from north to west to south, and each sea is giving you different type of freediving. One is colder, one is warmer, one has more currents. So it's quite adventurous to discover freediving in the seas of this country as well.
Yeah, cool.
So let me ask you one thing. You said you already started freediving at the very early ages. How old were you when you started?
So, like the first memories I have, it's 4 or 5 years old. I was not able to swim, but I was not able to swim on the surface, but I was able to swim underwater. Yeah? So this is how everything started for me. And actually, this was the first time I actually, discovered the urge to breathe. That if you don't use the snorkel, then at the beginning you can look on the bottom of the sea for quite some time, and then the more time you spend in the water, the less time you can spend, watching what's going on down there. But I would consider like a little bit more serious way of freediving when I was around 13, and this was the time when I just spontaneously managed to perform the equalization maneuver, and luckily I came up with the Frenzel, which is kind of the really useful tool for free divers and scuba divers and everyone who wants to discover, things below the surface. And then it was a little bit of spearfishing, free diving, and when I was 19, I did my first free diving beginner course. And basically since then, free diving is #1 activity in my life. And honestly speaking, I haven't found anything more beautiful than this. So free diving, both pool and depth, it's part of my everyday routine.
So beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask, what did your family thought about it? Personally, it was my father who promoted freediving for me. And just like you started freediving, I was unable to stay on top of the water but he figured out I can equalize and I feel comfortable under the water. So his way of introducing me to freediving was giving me a little weight belt, and I was diving, doing like a variable weight dive,
From the
and picking
from the
up
Ice
some.
Age movie.
Yeah, exactly. I was the, what was his name?
I don't remember,
I don't
but
know.
it was.
I was this mouse. Yeah. So what did your father? I mean, what did your parents think about your passion about freediving?
Well, in the early days of my freediving, I think it was the most dangerous part of my freediving career, because I had no knowledge. I was doing things I would never do them again these days, and my parents were just thinking, okay, he's snorkeling, but I know I was just not snorkeling. I was just trying to go as deep as possible, and whenever I went so far away from the shore that I couldn't see the bottom, I was trying to reach the bottom, and it was like completely crazy. So nowadays, when I am in a position where I can actually teach people how and what to do with kids, I always try to educate parents that gentle breathing,
Exactly.
not pushing it really deep, never when the kid is shivering, take him out from the water, and so on. So my parents had no idea what actually I was doing. Actually, they got like the first impression when I did the freediving course, and when I started going for competition. And I honestly believe they were scared, but I have a huge respect about about the way how they communicated. Like, they were not stopping me, but they were pushing me to educate more, to learn new skills, to be with people who have experience. So it was not like stop doing it, but they say, okay, if you do it, then do it the right way. And
Yeah.
I think it's just like the best possible support you can get from your parents.
Exactly. So you learned, ladies and gentlemen, Samo started his career as a rogue freediver, but then he went onto the Jedi side, on the white side. He's not in the dark side anymore. Yeah, I guess it starts all the same for us, but for the parents, this never ends. They will forever worry about us. So I mean, maybe you also know, but I do compete as well, and whenever I go into a competition, my mom calls me and says, don't dive too much, okay? And I say, I promise, mom, I'm not going to dive too much, too deep. But of course, you know how it is. Okay, now slowly our questions are also coming from the viewers, but let me ask you, what are your personal bests?
So my official personal bests are 8 minutes and 8 seconds in static apnea, 180 meters dynamic no fins, and the most beautiful ones. So the most beautiful disciplines are, of course, deep diving, where the deepest I went was with the monofin, 110 meters. And free immersion discipline, where you basically pull yourself down with your hands pulling the rope. I went to 107, and just swimming no fins, 77 meters.
What is your favorite discipline? Which one is in your heart?
Well, it's definitely monofin and free immersion. I like monofin because when you put this fin on, I mean, at least I feel so powerful. I have a feeling like I can be really like a dolphin. And on the other hand, free immersion discipline is just like pure relaxation. You're just using like small muscles on your arms, and your dives can be like really long and enjoyable. So these two disciplines are definitely my favorite. And yours?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, every season it is changing a little bit. Every discipline, I feel like I learned so much focusing on an individual discipline. So no fin it teaches me the importance of efficiency and the importance of little details. Free immersion, it just teaches me how to relax even deeper and how to be with the water, be one with the water. And monofin, just like you said, it makes you feel powerful. But if I say, tell me one discipline, these days I feel like I'm a bifin guy. I like it. I like a little bit pain in my legs. Yeah. So one question, like as we are speaking about the deep dives, big dives, personal best, Aslan is asking, can you briefly explain your routine before a big dive?
So my routine is actually changing every year, but it's interesting. It's changing that every year I do less and less things. You know, at the beginning, let's say 10 years ago, it was super complicated. It was like that long Excel sheets of tasks I have to do 1 hour before the dive. So it was
checklist.
Yeah. And I was super stressed, just following, you know, these steps. And it was like toilet, eating, stretching, relaxation, listening to this song, then meditation, then putting on the monofin, then
yeah.
Oh my God, so super complicated. And now I usually put my wetsuit on like 30 minutes before the dive. I prepare all my gear like way in advance, so I don't have to think if I have everything. So I just know everything is there, and I just, you know, put it on. And from that point on, I just control my breathing. So it's super gentle, shallow breathing, and I want to, you know, I want that the way I breathe is also the way I feel. So super gently, super easily, no deep inhales. So just relaxation. I enter the water normally 10 minutes before the dive. I always use the floater, like a noodle. I usually have 2 of them, and I breathe up on a kind of on a sitting position. And I also stopped doing any kind of warm-ups, even though I would recommend people to warm up before their dives. And when the official top starts, you know, two breaths to kind of refresh your lungs and full deep inhale, and then the fun begins.
Okay, now I have to get, you know, I have to take out the dirty secrets out from you. Do you do any dry statics, or did you stop all of the warm-up activities before you make a dive?
Well, honestly speaking, I stopped everything because I just found there is no difference.
Okay.
It's at the beginning I thought there is like it's mentally easier to do the dive, but you know, when you have, I don't know, hundreds of dives behind you, or maybe even, you know, 500 or 1,000, then your body is there.
Yeah, exactly.
Your body immediately, when you are in touch with water, everything kind of happens spontaneously. But you know, if I would be a beginner now, and when I teach people, I don't recommend it, because you definitely need kind of a routine to tune in, to kick your freedive mode on. And it includes dry statics to increase the tolerance of on discomfort. I would also suggest doing dives to 10, 15 meters to also trigger your mammalian dive reflex and to get some chest flexibility. And but definitely, you know, 10 to 15 minutes before the dive, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with what you said in the beginning. In the development of a freediver, first establishing some routines is the key to progress. But after a point, you start breaking these routines. You start going out of these routines to even progress more. But this comes within you. You have to feel the moment where the routine is restricting you, and you have to go beyond that level. And I guess we all know this only happens by experience and regular free diving.
Definitely. I think regular
Speaking
definitely
of that,
regular free diving is the best advice and training tip you can basically give to everyone.
exactly. Speaking of that, I mean, when you started to regularly free dive, sooner or later, you happen to have some barriers that can stop your progress for a while. Most typically, maybe this is deep equalization. I mean, mine was deep equalization. I spent quite a lot of years actually until I mastered to equalize in the deep waters during the deep dives. Did you have any? Like, did something stop you for a while in your progress?
Yeah, I had barriers, and I reached some obstacles I had to somehow overcome. But now when I look back on my on my beginnings and my career, I honestly noticed that I faced the barrier when I started taking freediving too seriously, and I didn't spend enough time freediving for myself. So things I really enjoy in freediving. So I like my barriers, like with everyone else, were connected with equalization. So when I came to Dahab in 2009, when I was lucky enough that my instructors were Linda and Lota, and they were really good in teaching these advanced equalization skills. And I managed to do this first, breakthrough from 30 to 50 meters, and then I had a barrier at 80 meters. I couldn't go deeper. It was just like 79.5 or 80.2 meters, and I couldn't go deeper. At the end, I realized that what I thought is relaxation. It was like I thought that I was diving in a relaxed way, but I was definitely not relaxed. So equalization techniques are super connected with relaxation, and relaxation is a learning process. And you can take, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of courses, but through repetition, through, first of all, recreational and diving for fun, you develop relaxation. And once you are relaxed at 10 meters, you can start exploring depths at 15, at 20. And if you're not relaxed at 20, don't expect you will be relaxed at 30 or 40. So it's all connected, Basically, nowadays, when I dive below 100 meters, and people ask me, how do I feel at 100 meters? Well, I feel exactly the same at 5 meters or at 10 meters. So it's no difference. If I don't feel completely fine, and if I don't enjoy the dive, I don't go deeper. And with this approach, I managed to overcome the technical barriers. Of course, once you reach this kind of depth and the dive times go to 4 minutes and more, training, hypoxic tolerance plays an important role. So it's always, especially in deep diving, it's a combination of equalization, depth adaptation, and hypoxia. And I call it like a triangle of depth, which all three elements needs to work well.
Exactly. I mean, if something is missing, it's like a wobbling table. And if something is missing from the foundation, sooner or later it will come up as you go deeper and deeper. Another thing which happened in my career was I haven't realized for so many years that I'm also a little bit afraid of going deep. The day that I accepted that it is scary for me to discover a new depth, and I should just accept the fact that I'm just afraid of, I started to look to this game from a different point of view. And that day was another turning point for me. Of course, this doesn't mean that if I'm too much afraid of the dive, I don't push myself.
Yeah.
But I just accept ocean is greater than me. So then it's not a fight anymore. I just try to be with the water instead of beating the water to achieve a meter more or so.
Yeah, that's like, being scared of diving deep. I think it's natural. It's normal. I mean, we have like a very strong bond with the ocean, but it's not natural. We don't do it like every day to dive 30, 40, 50, I don't know, 100 meters. So being scared of this kind of depth, it's totally normal. And the rule I have for myself and for the people that I dive with is that you have any kind of doubts, and especially if it's connected with being scared, and don't dive, because it's impossible to dive if you are not honest to yourself, especially to dive deep. Yeah, like being honest to yourself, it's probably one of the most essential quality of a safe and successful diver. In free diving, like you go to the gym, you see guys who are just pumped up, they are doing huge workouts, and there are sports where you can cheat yourself, or you can pretend to be something that you are not.
Yeah.
Well, in free diving, you are who you are, and the sooner you accept it, the sooner you will progress.
Yeah. A couple of more questions from our viewers. How often do you stretch? Adnan is asking.
Yeah, like when I decreased all the tasks I do before the dive. So when I basically made my warm up routine super short, at the same time I add a lot of stretching to my everyday routine. And for me, stretching is like stretching is, first of all, it's active recovery. It helps you to make your bones and limbs and muscles more flexible, and they regenerate faster. But for free diving, it's also the way how we adapt to higher ambiental pressure. So when talking about stretching for free diving, I focus on adapting my body for higher ambiental pressure. And these are some very specific exercises that helps me to make my rib cage more flexible, to make me, to stretch my diaphragm more than with any other exercises. I can also, with specific exercises and drills, I can make my trachea more flexible. And all of this is the key ingredient if you want to dive, to the depths where your lungs basically compress below your residual volume. And so to answer Adnan's question, it is definitely around 45 minutes to 1 hour every day. Every day when I'm preparing for depth season, I don't do these exercises all year round.
Okay, good tip. Thank you. Another question. Let's say you have a target competition in your mind. When do you start to train for this event? How long before the event do you start to train?
Well, I enjoy training. So my greatest passion is basically training and train free diving. So I try not to quit training at all. I train all the time. But there are some parts of the year where either you are so busy with work or you have to travel, and it's hard to do everything in your life. So normally I start with base training in November, December. This is where my training starts. It's a combination of pool, gym, swimming, stretching exercises. And normally in May, I do my first deep diving trainings. right now I was supposed to be in Egypt training for the next competitions, but the situation is like
instead you're diving in the bathtub, yeah?
exactly, or doing the bicycle you see behind.
Yeah.
So in May I normally start with first deep diving training, and then it just depends. If the competition is in September, then I keep doing all my regular things and diving for myself, because I think here it's really important to say that most of my free diving nowadays is, either diving with others, so teaching people, or diving for myself, taking photos or discovering new places. And I don't want to take these things out of my everyday and training routine, because it's what makes me happy. So let's say if the competition is in September, then the serious deep diving training for me starts 1 month before. And 1 month is what I need to fully adapt myself to higher ambiental pressure, and to give my body enough time to slowly, safely progress to the depths where I want to be.
So I guess this is also explaining this is sort of an answer for the question of Aslan, who asked you, like, can you give us some tactics to overcome the feeling of fear for a dive? Like, she says, to overcome the feeling of I'm screwed during the ascent. So it's training, and adapting the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one approach. The more you train, the more you will be adapted, and definitely you will be in better shape. But this is actually normal, that when you go down and when you started swimming up to the surface, at one point you have like thoughts,
Yes.
And at this point your body is actually building up CO2, which makes you a little bit dizzy, and the discomfort is slowly accumulating. Maybe the contractions and urge to breathe hasn't manifested yet, but it's getting there, And it also depends how deep you are. I think if you are approaching like depths 60, 70, there is also small dosages of nitrogen present in your body. So all your thoughts basically multiply when you're down there. So it's really important that you basically just have to calm down. It's normal that I have this kind of thoughts. I have everything under control. Everything is going according to the plan. Just let's stick to the plan. Because if you know that you have done similar dives, then there is no way for you to panic at 60 or 70 meters, because you will definitely make it up to 10-5 meters. And then if you are taking care of safety, and if you are well prepared, and everything is as it should be, then the surface is there, and everything will be fine and okay. But I think it's really important for people to understand that never push the dive if you have any kind of doubts on the surface. So if you're not sure on the surface, don't do the dive. And if it doesn't go according to the plan, just turn early. Don't push it. Really, it's really important, because when there are real troubles down there, they will usually manifest as a trouble on the surface as well. But when there are just thoughts, it's normal. Like when you go work out, when you go running, or when you go into gym, you always want to quit when things get unpleasant, but then you can still like push yourself to do another couple of repetitions.
Exactly. Yeah, very true. And the questions are coming. As we are talking about training, it's nice to see the questions coming, and let's answer them. Özge is asking if you have a special diet to follow or not. Personally, I'm the kind of a guy who thinks changing your lifestyle or changing the way you eat, you do things, just before an event is not doing good for you. So let's say, I mean, I know you don't drink coffee, but you know me, I drink a lot of coffee. So I keep drinking my coffee during the competition as well. So I'm not picky. I continue how I eat during the competition as well. Do you have any special secrets?
Well, regarding the nutrition, I think there are no secrets. My kind of philosophy regarding this topic is that you have to eat high quality food. Try to avoid eating pre-prepared food, or vegetables or fruits that are basically growing up in the container while traveling around the world. I am not vegetarian. I eat everything. But if you have a common sense and you listen to your body, it gives you the signals. Like if I feel like eating the banana, I eat banana. If I have an urge to breathe a little bit of chocolate, I will eat it. But don't exaggerate in things like that. Regarding free diving and specific diet before the dive, like there is a golden rule: don't eat at least 3 hours before the dive. I would also, it's important for recovery and sleeping that we discussed at the beginning. Don't eat 3 hours before the bedtime. If you follow these rules, everything is going to be fine, and you will feel good. The question is, when the dive or the competition starts super early in the morning. If it starts at 7 or 8, then you cannot wake up at 5 or 4 just to make this breakfast. But in this kind of cases, I just skip the breakfast. Otherwise, I always eat something, and it's normally oats with almond milk.
Very nice. Yeah, I got a really funny memory about these eating patterns and how people copy each other. Again, I was in Dahab, and we were sitting one day in a restaurant by the Blue Hole, and Natalia Molchanova, rest in peace, may her rest in peace, she was eating this red juice. She was drinking this red shake, and everyone was looking at her like, what is it? What is this magical juice that she is having just before the world record? Yeah. And she said, this is a beetroot juice. Guess what? In 2 days, there was no beetroot available in the markets of Dahab. All free divers exhausted it. Like, everyone started to drink, eat, because they thought this is going to give them the additional breath hold. But you know what happens if you just hit too heavy on the beetroot? It just gives you a diarrhea. So
yeah, but while you're in Dahab, Noel will find the reason in beetroot there are for diarrhea.
Exactly. Super nice. Okay, Fatih is asking, have you ever had narcosis during deep dives?
Yeah, definitely. For me, the narcosis normally starts on the dive when I go below 80 meters, and I normally feel it on the way up. And this is the moment where you have to really, really control your thoughts and emotions, because, as I said earlier, everything just multiplies. Luckily, I didn't have any kind of bad experience yet. I know it's there. I know it's affecting my judgment, but I really want to keep my eyes open. I always focus on the line, and sometimes I try to count my kicks, but I 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2. So
yeah,
I know
exactly.
it's there.
Numbers
because,
are limited,
it's
right?
really...
The decimal system is from 1 to 5 if
Yes.
you are narked. So
yeah, exactly. But as I said, I just want to keep my focus first on the line, and then trying to count kicks, or when I see the safety diver, to really pay attention to him. And I also managed to visualize that when I see the safety diver, I start basically talking to myself, do the proper recovery breathing. you know. And now every time when I swim up, when I see the safety diver, okay, just focus on recovery breathing. Because, you know, people have to understand that it doesn't matter you are diving, again, 5 or 100 meters. Recovery breathing doesn't change. And
exactly.
And you know, people ask me, "Oh, I'm already diving so deep. Maybe I can skip the beginner course and go to, you know, level 2 or level 3 because, you know, I'm already tough guy." I said, "Look, it doesn't matter. You can be like a superhuman. The basic principles that are, you know, explained and taught on the level 1 course are universal." And yeah, recovery breathing is something that I really focus on, and I think. When you want to keep your mind somehow busy during the narcosis, you know, these kind of things are really important.
Yeah. Can you remember, do you have a special freediving session in your mind which has its place in your freediving career? When I
It
ask
doesn't have
that,
to be related to performance freediving.
no. I mean, it can be, of course, like it can be breaking a record or it can be joining a competition, but I know you also dive to take very nice underwater photographs. So can you tell us something about a session which you had in your mind which has its own special place?
Well, there are, you know, there are few moments that will probably stay in my mind forever, and these are really nice memories. And the first one was actually when, as a young kid, I managed to perform the equalization, and when I discovered that I can, you know, dive deep without any kind of pain in my ears. Then the second moment, which was just incredible and so, let's say, emotional, is when I was a spare fisherman, and I could never imagine that you can be part of the ocean, so the fish is actually coming to you. And I will never forget the first moments when, you know, the Dentex starts approaching me, and these are huge Dentex. It was incredible feeling. Of course, I didn't catch anything because, you know, you get overexcited. But anyway, these kind of things are incredible. All the interactions with the marine life for me are, you know, this is what I like. This is what I freedive for. I want to be part of the ocean. I want to interact with marine life. When freediving for fun and taking pictures beside, you know, looking for places where I can enjoy and observe the marine life, I love wrecks. You know, wrecks are just, oh, incredible. And also taking photos on the wrecks is it's so much fun, you know. And here I have some photos I want to share with you. Let's see here. The first one is from Kash. Yeah, I took it in 2017.
For the ones who don't know where Kash is in Turkey, by the way.
Exactly.
It's a very nice freediving spot.
Yeah, exactly. So this you know, tank is just incredible, and it's shallow. It's like you know, 10 to 15 meters. 14 meters is the bottom here. Sorry, a little bit a little bit of problems with sharing the screen. So let me come back to this question, because I have a little issue with with the screen.
Don't worry.
Yeah, and I really want to show it.
Shall I distract you by
Okay,
asking more
perfect.
questions?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So, what's the next step in your freediving career?
So the next step, it's you know, things are in regarding freediving divided in freediving for myself and freediving also, you know, kind of related to business. So I really want to develop both parts. First, I want to do freediving for myself because this is why I do it, you know. And it's really, I think it's kind of a blessing that I managed to combine my passion with my work, and therefore I really want to also offer, you know, better freediving experience to people who join me for freediving. So regarding competitions, now it's everything is unpredictable because of the current global situation. Regarding the freediving, you know, business and running our club, I just wanted to make. I want, you know, I want to inspire people. I want to present them freediving as a way of life, as an amazing activity, both as for recreation, as for exploring the sea. And the tools we use to be better in freediving are basically the same as we use in our everyday life, to be more efficient at work, to be able to control our emotions better. And I see really a huge potential for all of these things, you know.
Exactly.
So let me share you some photos with you.
Yes.
Oh, so this is Kash again. Hope you see it. It's an airplane down at around 20 meters. This is the same dive spot as I already showed you on the first photo. This aeroplane is just incredible. It's also in Kash.
Beautiful.
It's as I said, at 20 meters, the visibility is good, and it's like really nice place to free dive and to, you know, hang around. Dean's Blue Hole, Bahamas, probably the place for deep free diving. It's really hard to imagine that a place like this actually exists.
Can you say that is your favorite place to free dive?
Well, performance free diving, it's definitely Bahamas, because you know, here you can see the entrance to the Blue Hole, Dean's Blue Hole. It's around 33 meters wide, and the depth here is over 200 meters. And it's really important to know that the platform you see over there, it's 15 meters from the shore. So really incredible place for performing deep dives. This is Dean's Blue Hole from another perspective. This is another blue hole. Bahamas are really interesting because there are like a lot of places like that. This is the more shallow one. It's only 24-25 meters, but it also starts on 3 meters. So it's a really cool place to snorkel, to maybe catch a dinner as well. Adriatic Sea, like, unfortunately, as in all places in the Mediterranean Sea, there is you definitely need skills to find the fish, you know. But on the other side, there are incredible places and incredible caves. A lot of wrecks from World War I, World War II, and also from the 18th and 17th centuries. So really a lot of places to free dive. And what I like in the Adriatic Sea is also the you know, the nature above the water. There is so much, you know, trees. It's really rich. It's not like in Dahab is also amazing, but it's a desert, you know. And here we have like super beautiful nature above and under the water. This is the German airplane, Stuka. It's in the Adriatic Sea. Super nice place to free dive, and They found it just a couple of years ago, so it's kind of as it's in really good condition. Another wreck in the Adriatic Sea is the name is Teti. It was the transportment ship. Here is the cache again. So this is the Stuka from another perspective. Tenerife, I love Tenerife. So many nice places, and if you are lucky that you can also dive with amazing sea mammals. Sharm el Sheikh, Ras Mohammed, amazing place to snorkel, super rich marine life. Some caves in the Adriatic Sea in the National Park of Kornati. Ras Mohammed again. Wrecks in the Adriatic Sea. Another photo of Stuka. And Y40, at the end of the day, Y40 is super cool place for, to have fun during the winter. I really like to go there. It's really also close to the place where I live. So I'm quite often there for freediving.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, few photos from freediving for fun.
Yeah. In the meantime, we got several more questions. And one was asking, has freediving ever helped you to overcome a bad time of your life where you felt not so high in general in your life? Has freediving given its hand to you to overcome these bad days?
Well, every time I say to the people when I get a question like this is that freediving cannot be an escape from reality. But with freediving, at least I learned the skills how to cope with the everyday life challenges better and more effectively. I honestly think that if there is a problem, the problem will be with you in freediving as well. It's not like a tool to erase real problems. Real problems are there, and you have to face with them. And what's bothering you is basically your emotional reaction to these problems. And unfortunately, there are things that can help you to overcome the emotional problem or the consequence of the problem, but it's not the solution for things that are going on your everyday life.
Yeah. Another question was asking, I'm sorry, I just couldn't remember the name, but he was asking, like, he said he started freediving recently and he can spend some time under the water, but when he starts to push himself a little bit more in the water, he starts feeling his arms getting numb. Do you think it's normal? That's the question.
So, diving to 5, 10, or 100 meters, you have to enjoy it, and when you are at the bottom, you have to feel the same way as you would be like walking on the beach. And if any kind of discomfort happens when you are down at the bottom or when you are swimming down, that's a clear sign you should go up, because it's obviously something that you have to improve, or there is something that was not done in the right way. So if you feel any kind of numbness in your arms or legs, it can be the reason of wrong equipment. It can be too tight, or the wrong breathe up procedure, or it can be also related with some neurological symptoms that are related to some other issues. So if it's not going away, you definitely have to check it with the doctor, because this is not a normal thing that happens on your dive.
Okay. I mean, I take this answer as as an answer of the upcoming question. I was going to ask you, can you please give 2 suggestions for the beginner freedivers as the fundamentals of their training? So let's say one is already covered. You said very nicely, if you feel something wrong, go up. That is like, that should be the rule number 1. What about the second one? Give them a second tip from your experience, please.
So like the first tip, as you said, if it's not everything fine, go up. I would also, connect it with one of the things we discussed before. It's definitely like recovery breathing. And then if you like freediving, if you enjoy it, and if you want to progress in it, then, invest in it. Go to the places that you want to go. Free dive on the locations that will bring you like amazing memories. Hang out with people that are in the free diving community, because this is what free diving is about. Sharing the passion, being part of the community, going to the attractive places around the world, because this is what will make your overall diving experience just unforgettable.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. I tell it to our professionals, to our instructors, learning never ends. But same for a freediver. You can always learn from your buddies. You can always learn from a friend in the water, or this is life. We all learn from our experiences, which makes us the real freediver at the end of the day. So I totally agree with you. Yes, they shouldn't miss the opportunities, and they should definitely do their best to chase for new adventures, new opportunities, and they should invest their time and effort to create them. That is really important. Uh, Let me start to look into the questions. Yeah, I have one more. So what was the turning point in your freediving career that you decided to become a professional and start to teach freediving? What made you become an instructor?
Well, the first instructor course I did was in 2010, and basically, I honestly enjoyed sharing my passion with others, and I wanted to have like the certificate that I'm qualified to do it. But I think everything really changed in 2017 when I became like a serious professional in freediving industry. And at that point, I just found out that freediving it's full of opportunities. And I also suggest people who want to be part of this freediving industry to do the instructor course. And I know that SSI has the like really incredible programs, because it's not only how you will not only get the skills how to teach, but it's like an MBA of freediving industry. Because once you see all these opportunities, how many things you can do and how many incredible tools SSI is providing you, you will just see that you can combine passion with work, and you can make a living out of it. And now, like, I'm really excited to share it with more and more people, to introduce new skills and new techniques to people that have no idea, with either swimming, freediving, spearfishing, so to other athletes from other sports, to businessmen, to people who just want to improve their overall well-being. And I think this is the real opportunity in freediving. It improves the overall well-being.
I think your sports background is also affecting your approach to your teaching. I mean, yes, you are SSI, you are following our freediving system, but of course, I know that you like to organize your club on regular meetings, activities. Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Well, I think the sport background at the beginning, it was a huge, I can say like a barrier for me, because it was really hard for me to distinguish between, you know, performance freediving and recreational freediving. I thought that everyone who wants to become a freediver needs the skills that I need for, you know, performance freediving. And it took me, you know, quite some years to actually figure it out that people perform much better and progress faster if you only focus on few important things. And you know, my professional background is just these days a pure example that things that are important for performance freediving are also important for recreational freediving. And here I can make, you know, a bigger, you know, I can emphasize these things much better. And it's definitely so breathing and recovering, things like that. Regarding the organization of our club, yes, I like training. I like organizing things as a workout. So we have training sessions every week, pool training sessions that are a combination of swimming and freediving. And yes, our community is accepting it really well. And I'm just introducing new things, workouts, dry workouts these days. And the community is just, they are enjoying it. And it's really like a mutual support. We stay together, we support each other, both for training and also to, you know, overcome these days in a better mood.
Yeah, exactly. We do the same. At the end of the day, freediving is a lifestyle we are all trying to follow and to be part of it. And yes, this kind of dry exercises, online meetings, sharings, these are exceptionally important in the times like that, which is out of ordinary for sure. Yeah. One more question. Alper is asking, during a deep dive, which one is most challenging for you? Equalization, dive time, urge to breathe, or flexibility?
At the beginning of the season, it's flexibility. Then once you adapt, it's definitely hypoxia. So the ability to come up safely. So I want to be on a safe side. Like you know, you also, when you are talking about the performance freediving, you have ups and downs. The things happen that you don't want them to be, you know, to happen, and you have to learn from them. And these days, I know that my life doesn't depend on a new record, new national record, new medal. It got proven so many times that you know, you get a second chance, or if your previous work was done well, one failure is not going to be the end of the story. So I want to be on the safe side, and I guess my limit these days is hypoxia.
Okay. Another question for both of us, actually, but you go first. And they're asking, what do you think or imagine during a dive, especially a deep dive?
I probably only think for first couple of meters, where I have to kind of align myself with the line. and I just start slowly turning off my thoughts, all the thinking processes. Once I can feel that I'm approaching neutral buoyancy, and once I reach the neutral buoyancy, it's kind of, I'm just present, and I enjoy every single moment. I just think about equalization, and I can feel how my water flow is going through my face, and I'm just so grateful I can be down there and free dive, and it's an incredible feeling. And I honestly try to avoid any kind of overthinking. If it's overthinking, then the dive is definitely not good.
Yeah, I totally agree. Personally, my problem is falling in love with these amazing feelings too much. Yeah. So I lose my focus. I literally forget the tasks that I had to accomplish during a deep dive. And I found myself so many times forgetting to equalize, for example, because the feeling of water running towards your face is so beautiful. I just lost myself there in that moment. So I just cannot stay in the moment or in the action with a flow. That is my problem. So what I think is, yes, I sort of think the next moment, the next task that I will go into during a dive. So let's say if I am approaching the neutral buoyancy, I only think about now I will start to free fall. So if I am in the free fall state, I think about continue to equalize. If I am about to turn, I think about my turn. So my mind is always focusing on one step at a time. The next step, the next step, and for sure enjoying what this is giving me. This is absolutely priceless and really hard to describe in normal words. But yeah, it is good experience.
Yeah, I would just add quickly that at the beginning, so let's say 10 years ago, also my dive was an Excel sheet. So hundreds of tasks, and I mean, for me, I just now when I look back, it's just the learning process. You at the beginning, you basically have to find your own way to control the situation, and then it's actually the learning process will enable you to let it go and to enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a few more questions, then we will continue answering the questions in the comments just to keep it timely. So can you give one advice to a new or aspiring freediver?
How to inspire someone?
Yeah.
About freediving. Yeah.
You can tell your life philosophy as well, if it works.
Well, my life philosophy is that as soon as you realize what you actually like to do, stick to it, improve it, and try to be the best in it. And don't look for other things. Yes, you want to grow as a person, so educate, learn, and so on. But if freediving is your passion, and like my primary education, I think it's the same for you, is mechanical engineering. I have a master's degree in mechanical engineering. So at one point, I just had to make a decision that my passion is somewhere else, not in front of the computer and drawing, the sketches and so on. And what I would really advise everyone that find the things you love, improve them, try to be the best in them, and then there is always a way.
And the final question: how do you make your hair so cool? That's my question.
It's actually the deeper I go, the bigger they are.
Yeah,
So now
thank
I'm
you.
getting actually afraid what's going to happen with my hair, because I cannot go not in the pool, not in the sea. I'm just at home. So I know what's going to be with my hair.
You're going to join my club, dear Samo.
Sooner or later, I guess.
So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And for all the viewers, next week, Samo is going to be the host, interviewing Australian champion Amber Brook. So it's going to be a super entertaining and funny session again. And we are going to announce it on our pages for you to book your calendars, for you to follow us. Samo, thank you very much. And
yes, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And to all the viewers, see you in 1 week.
yes, see you in 1 week. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for following us. Like I said, we will be following your questions and try to give answer to all of them from the comments later on. Thank you.